Hey, 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 it is an unstoppable day. It's Tuesday, so you know it's got to be the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrance Leftridge, where we talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories. So we're going to give it a couple of seconds to get the audience in. So come on in, swipe and share. I see my girl Diamond Queen is in the house. Hey, welcome, 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 Diamond. Go ahead, swipe and share. And hey, if you are coming in for the first time, well, welcome to the Unstoppable Story Show, where we talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories. Hey, I want you to do something for me. If you are watching us live, I want you to type in the number 1. Type in the number 1 if you're watching this live. Or if you're watching the replay, well, I thank you for coming back and watching the replay. Go ahead and type that number 2 as we are going to get excited, get ready. I see our guest is in the lobby. So we are rocking, cooking with gas. But let me just make sure we can share this out and let the world know that we are live and on the air. So as you're coming on in, share the video. Thank you, Diamond. Diamond is one of my loyal news followers of the Unstoppable Story Show, and I can depend on her to share this information out with everybody. So I appreciate you, Diamond, more than you know. So thank you so much for putting that information out there. And we are going to take a couple of seconds, make sure we've got some other viewers coming in. We are also simulcasting on the Unstoppable Stories page on Facebook. And if you are going to be watching the replay later, you can also catch it on my Unstoppable Stories page as well as on Facebook. So I hope you guys, YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So I want you guys to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, where we continue to share the Unstoppable Stories to the world. Hopefully, you know that we are doing quality programming here. And I know you could be anywhere else on a Tuesday night. So I'm glad you just decided to take some time to spend some time with the Unstoppable Story Show. Hopefully, you guys are warm wherever you are. Hey, it's been some type of weekend here in the Windy City. It has definitely lived up to its name. You know, I was talking to a couple of friends in Atlanta, and they were complaining this weekend about, oh, it's so cold. And I said, well, how cold is it? And it's like, oh, it's 32 degrees. Oh, it's 31 degrees. Oh, man, had to pull out the big coats. Meanwhile, I was sitting here with the heat on, with the portable heaters on, with my footies on, with the blanket on, because it was a nice balmy 6 degrees all weekend long here in the Windy City. So, you know, hopefully wherever you are, you've got a little bit more sun and heat. And if you don't have the heat, maybe you have some sunshine. And if there isn't sunshine where you are, well, that just means you need to be that sunshine in somebody else's life. So let's get right on into the show. We are sponsored this week by the fabulous Sharon Johnson Leftridge, my wife, and her company, SNL Vacations. SNL Vacations, doing big things, helping you get that signature vacation for you and your family. So if you're looking for scenic locales, if you're looking for no hassle bookings and lasting memories, then you need to go on over to snlvacations.com. She specializes in group cruises and excursions. So again, if you're looking for that scenic locale in 2019, if you're looking for a agent that will help you out and give you no hassle bookings, and if you're ready to create those lasting memories for 2019, then go on over to snlvacations.com and let them know the Unstoppable Story Show sent you there. Cool. Thank you. So we are moving on into this month of January. It just seems to be flying by. Happy Martin Luther King Day for everybody who celebrated yesterday. Hopefully you used it not just a vacation day, but you used it as a day of service and a day of reflection. You know, one of my favorite quotes by Dr. Martin Luther King is, the true measure of a man is not where he stands in times of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of, oh, and I just went in a brain freeze just like that. Man, I knew that was going to happen. Times of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of, it's going to come back to me. But he was basically talking about, where do you stand when things aren't comfortable? Where do you stand when things aren't the status quo? Where do you stand when things are rough in your life? That is the true measure. And that's why I try to live my life. I try to understand and be thankful for the comfort and the convenience, but I also am thankful for the constraints that are placed on my life. I'm also thankful for those circumstances that aren't so easy, because that's where they build the character up in me. And that's what's helping me elevate in 2019. And you know, that's my word for 2019, hashtag elevate. And I'm bringing you great guests this year that are also elevating and helping you to elevate. And as we start out this month about just wanting to be better. You know, that's what elevation is all about, wanting to be better than you were last year, wanting to go a little bit higher. Maybe it's one step higher. Maybe it's one mountain higher. Maybe it's one degree higher. Maybe it's one relationship higher. Maybe whatever it is that you're trying to elevate, in order for you to be better, sometimes it's just as simple as you doing better. And that's what we're going to be focusing on tonight on the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrance Leftridge. We're going to be focusing on how you can be better in 2019 and give you some tips on how you can do better with our guest that we have tonight. So let me introduce you to him. We got a doctor in the house, y'all. Say doctor in the house. The doctor is Dr. Anthony L. Gantt. Now, he has his PhD in business administration, but he'll be the first to tell you that, he used to just be an average person. He grew up in an average home, had an average life, but he just got tired of being just average. And that's when he decided he was going to make some changes in his life. That was the defining moment in his life where he wanted to be better. So he started seeking ways to do better. He is a Navy veteran. He served our country proud. He also has been a Navy recruiter. He also is a real estate professional since 1990. And he has been speaking to audiences since 1989. He spoke in over 3,000 different audiences from all age groups, from all shapes, colors, creed, genders, and races. And he is also the author of 10 audio programs and 12 books. Some of those titles, because we take up the whole show trying to talk about them all night, but some of those titles include Goal Setter, Goal Getter. Love that one. You too can write a book, and I can relate to that. Moving My Life. Stop procrastinating and start progressing. Yes. Start so that you can finish. And then another title of a book is Differences Between the Rich and the Poor. And this brother is doing great things on internet radio. He's got 3 different radio shows right now, about to launch a 4th one this year in 2019. So this brother, I don't even know how he found time to come on the show tonight, but we are honored and glad that he did. And as I can see him, hopefully we can hear him as we bring him up. Let's introduce to the stage our audience tonight, our guest, Dr. Anthony L. Gantt. Dr. Gantt, are you in the building?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Hey, it is an unstoppable day, sir.
Thank you. Same. Yeah, you're right, it is. I'm with the unstoppable man. That's you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Anthony, I tell our audience each and every week, it's called the Unstoppable Story Show. And each and every week, the devil gets busy because he knows it's going to be an unstoppable show. So he wants to get in front of the game and stop the show automatically. And, I'm not afraid to tell our audience because our audience is fabulous and they know what it means to be unstoppable. Just before we got started, couldn't get you in the broadcast to save our life. Everything was trying to go wrong. But we persevered. We got unstuck so that we can be unstoppable. So I'm glad to have you here in the place this evening. So before we get started, I always give you the opportunity to just take about 60 seconds and introduce yourself, because I know you can do far better credit than what I just said on your bio. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and introduce yourself to our unstoppable audience.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that warm invite. I mean, you did a wonderful job, but really not much I need to say. You brought me on just fine. But obviously, I'm originally from Chicago, still reside in Chicago area, was raised in Chicago. Like you stated, did some things in the military and, end up getting out and did some things in the real estate profession. And start writing a bunch of books, wanted to help more people do something that I have this passion, Terrance, that if I know it, I want you to know it too. Not that I try to make you know it, but, if I learn how to cross the street, hey, here's the 3 things I did to cross the street, and I want you to get across the street as well. So as I was in the real estate business, that's why I kind of made my footprint first in the real estate profession, and was training and doing some things in different areas, obviously evolving, start writing books and put some things together that way. And then obviously started doing some radio things and creating platforms for other people and, kind of doing some of the things that you're doing as well. So, I can't wait to share some more information with you.
Well,
thank you for the opportunity again, too.
and thank you again for taking your time to come and join us on the Unstoppable Stories show. Again, you're doing big things and you've been doing these things for quite a while. And we want to jump in and talk about your story. And again, if you guys are watching, go ahead and show our great guests some likes, show him some hearts. He will see them come across the screen if you put them up there. So if you see something or hear him say something that just makes you just want to click that button, then, go ahead. Show our guests some likes and some hearts. So,
I like to see those hearts.
yes. So if we were to sum you up in a title or a phrase, not put you in a box, but just as you introduce yourself, how would you introduce yourself?
Well, I would introduce myself as a self-help expert, self-advancement, self-enhancement. I believe it all starts there, Terrance, that I think when you become better, then your whole world, whole life, everything you touch can become better. I think sometimes we do it the opposite. We try to get better in something, then we say we'll go check on ourselves later. And I think it all starts with yourself. If you get that together, then you put your world together after that. So that's pretty much how I look at it.
I love it. And we're going to talk a lot about self, yourself as well as others this evening. But here's a question that I got to ask every guest that comes on the show for the first time. And it's a simple question. And you ready for the question?
I don't know. Hope it's not a tough one. Go ahead.
The question is, Dr. Anthony Gantt, when you hear the word unstoppable, what does that mean to you?
It means persistence for me. To keep going when you don't want to keep going. I look at unstoppable and persistence as, I think the more persistent you are, you start erasing the thought of quitting out of your mind. I think when you're going through some tough situations, quitting is almost something that comes to your mind. But when you're persistent and unstoppable, you're saying quitting, you may cross my mind, but you can't live here. And that's how I look at being unstoppable. That just being persistent and keep going until you get what you desire. It may take you longer than you wanted it. It may be harder than you thought. You might have to climb higher than you thought you need to climb. But that's how I look at unstoppable.
I love it. That's a great analogy. I appreciate it. So let me ask you, what started you on this journey towards being this self-help specialist that you are today, as well as an author and an entrepreneur and just an all-around great guy?
Well, it started for me really at when I look back on it when I became an adult. It started for me when I was 16 years old. My mom had a brain aneurysm. And the result of that aneurysm, she was in a coma for about 100 days. And the final result, she ended up becoming blind for the last 17 years of her life. But so she taught me a lot about attitude and taught me a lot about vision, not on purpose, just because she had to live a different life. Because I had a 16 years sighted, then I had a 17 years unsighted. So I learned a lot from her in her adversity. And one thing I learned when I was in the Navy with her, that how happy she was happier than me, and I was able to see. And I couldn't understand, like, how are you happier than me? And you kind of in a place where you can't see anything. So she's my confident best friend and helped me and encouraged me along the way. And so I didn't write books before she passed. I didn't start writing books after she passed, because she passed suddenly 17 years later. But I remember one time we were talking, Terrance, and she said to me, we was talking about her, some of the things she missed when she, because she can't see. And she was saying how she missed, just the regular things, her family and everything. But she said, one thing I really miss looking at the words on pages, because she was an avid reader. And I didn't get it at first, because I was like, she said, I miss reading a book. I said, Mom, you can read Braille. She said, no, it's something about looking at words on the page.
Yeah.
And that did something to me, like, wow, looking at, because I've taken it for granted, because, I can see, everything around me. But to be an avid reader and you can't see the words on the page anymore, that kind of struck with me. And it stays with me even today, even though she told me that years ago. And that's kind of like one reason why I write books. I hope that I just find people that like to look at the words on the page and learn something at the same time. So that's the way it goes for me.
I love how you just shared that. And I love the fact that your mom that defining moment, that simple conversation that just carried on and created a legacy for you 17 books later. And when someone asks you why, and you simply say, because I love to see the words on a page.
Right.
It just means a lot. And when you think about all the analogies that are out there, that if you want to hide something from somebody, where do you hide it? Hide it in a book.
Right.
There's the negative connotation. But if you want to open somebody's mind up to the possibilities, you can also say, where do you send them? And you send them to a book.
I like that.
I love it. So we mentioned that you are the author of 17 books, but I want to go back to what I read in your bio. You said that you were from an average home in an average neighborhood. After living an average life, you decided that you wanted to be more than just being average.
Yeah.
Why was that important to you, Anthony?
Well, when I got to my early 20s, that's about 30 years ago, but when I got to my early 20s, I realized I was used to trying to take shortcuts. And I found out that trying to take shortcuts always had me coming up short. And I realized being around average people, there's always, how little can we do? What's the minimum? How much can we do just to get over? And I realized that was my attitude. How little can I do? I mean, they said work 8 hours. Can I get away with 2? And that's when I started turning my life around, because I realized I was always coming up short, trying to do the little or trying to do the minimums. So I started looking at the maximum rewards, not the minimum requirements.
Whoa, wait. Here, when you throw out something like that, that's a tweetable, we just can't let that roll by. You got to say that one more time. You decided to do what again?
Well, I decided to stop looking at, I started looking at the maximum rewards and not the minimum requirements.
Look at the maximum rewards and not the minimum requirements. Man, that just reminds me of, if you're looking at a job application, whenever someone looks at a job application, they always run down to, where are the requirements? What do I need to do? And they don't look at it as what you are qualified to do. They look at just how much do I have that they need in order for me to get this job. And that's how a lot of people are going through life. They're going through life with just how much.
Right.
How much do I have to do to get this paycheck? How much do I have to do to get this food on my table? How much do I have to hustle to get this Gucci bag or get these red bottom shoes? How much? But people rarely recognize about how much can I put in to get that maximum effort, that maximum ROI. So I love that. And I want you guys, if you agree with that statement, just go ahead and put in the comments, that you are going to start focusing on not just the minimum requirements, but the maximum rewards. I love it. So that sets you on a journey.
Yeah, it did.
Being average. And where did that journey take you?
Well, it took me to this place. I started, just getting on the maximum rewards. I started trying to put my all into everything I do. At first, it was kind of unorthodox because I wasn't used to that, right? And then I started putting myself into everything. I don't care if it was walking around the park, I'm gonna put myself into it. I don't care if it's eating my dinner, I'm gonna be all in. And it turned into a habit and turned into a lifestyle. And I always say, Terrance, that anytime somebody invites you to be less than your best, always reject the offer.
Okay.
Always reject the offer. If someone say, "Oh, it's dressed down there at work," and you come in with looking, I'm gonna dress really down. Don't ever take that offer when someone puts you in a position to be less than your best, because you're being tested. And now you're being tested and seeing, are you self-disciplined or are you disciplined by other people?
And now y'all can see why we got this great speaker on here tonight that's going to help you be better by doing better. We got Dr. Anthony Gantt in the building, and he's just dropping nuggets already. So I hope you got your pen. I hope you got your paper. I hope you got your drink, because I mean he got my throat dry just already. We only been in it for less than a half hour. So I appreciate these nuggets. So let's fast forward, and I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna give you credit for that about 1 or 2 times, and then so I just want you to know that off the bat. Hey, okay. So Dr. Gantt, Facebook created this great thing called the watch party now. So people can watch the video, not only just on live, but they can get in with the party, and the party is jumping. Julio Reyes is in the watch party, and he's saying that it's great stuff. You can't put in a minimum effort and get maximum results. Yes, yes, yes. He also said, don't be less than your best. Love it. And then on the feed live, we got Diamond. She's commenting, this story is such a blessing. It creates a sense of gratitude. We've got Melinda Ray in. She is watching, and she is sharing her comments in the room. So thank you guys for watching. We're going to put them up on the screen as time permits, but we want to get into the great information that Dr. Gantt wants to share with us this evening. And we're going to be just talking about, in this world, Dr. Gantt, of instant gratification, in this world of just meeting the minimum, in this world of just doing enough to get by, how do we come with a message of being better by doing better?
Well, here's the message that I say, that when you work on being better, because everywhere you go, you have to take you with you. And since that's the case, doesn't it make sense that you become the best you can be, like the person that you are, love the person that you are, because you can't leave him or her at home and go to work. This person is stuck with you forever, right? So you might as well try to like it and love her because they're with you. But your being or yourself, and I heard you say something about character earlier, the character that we have is essential because it actually helps us drives us to do certain things. So if I don't watch what type of character I have, I might do a lot of bad things, not because I'm a bad person, but I'll start believing that I am because of a bad character. So if I don't watch and look at myself and try to become better and doing that every day, and I like to look at it as bathing, taking a shower or a bath, you wouldn't go a week, a month, a year, 5 years without taking a bath, right?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not, right?
Right.
A lot of times people go a week, a month, a year, 5 years without taking a mental bath. They don't work on their person and clean their person up on a daily basis so it can be the best and the freshest person it can be every day. And so that's why I think when you work on being a better person and you look at person, part of the person is you have to make it personal. Sometimes people become better saying, well, I become better if I can get this man or woman in my life. If the man or woman don't stay in their life, then hey, why work on being better? They gone, right? I work on being a better person if I can get this so much money or a car or a house or a job. But then if you don't get the job or house or car, what, you're not going to be a better person? Unfortunately, it's not personal enough to a lot of people. So since it's not personal, then they don't become a better person.
Absolutely. And on top of that, so too many times instead of making it personal, when it comes to being better, then you try to be the better version of somebody else. And I often tell people, I'm not trying to be the next Les Brown. I'm not trying to be the next Tony Robbins. I'm not trying to be the next Dr. Ruben West, my speaker coach. I'm trying to be the best Terrance that I can possibly be. And if you only are in competition with the person that you look at in the mirror each and every day, then you'll never have to worry about being a better somebody else, because you'll only be focused on being the best you.
Yes, right.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you've got some tips that you want to share with our audience for the balance of the time that we have you here. And again, thank you, Dr. Anthony Gantt, our author, entrepreneur, and all-around great guy, for joining us here on the Unstoppable Story Show. Go ahead, continue to give him those hearts and those likes, and
give up those hearts, y'all.
yes. I love the comments. Diamond Queen, she's telling you to preach. She's sending you a friend request already. See, there you go. There you go.
Right.
And in the watch party, Julio is just burning up the watch party. Thank you, Julio, for all your comments. I wash myself daily in positivity and who God says I am.
There you go.
Yeah, man, that's definitely a way to be a better person, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, I say, Terrance, that and I share with people, there's 3 things I think you should do every day, because you're in total control of these 3 things. I think you should pray every day so you can clean your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should read something on getting better every day so you can clean your mind. And I think you should clean your body every day with soap and water so you can have your body clean, right? And all 3 of those things, I think, are well within your control. And I'm big on cleaning your person, because here's the thing, right? We call it, Terrance, personality, right? Oh, look, their personality or whatever it may be. But when you look at the ITY at the end of the word, it actually means the condition of something, whatever that suffix is on. So when we look at your person, it's the condition of your person. And if you don't take care of your person, then that means the condition of your person is going to be bad. Because every day you're either getting better or worse. You're not in between. So people think, well, I'm just okay. No. If you're not getting better, you are actually working on getting worse.
Right.
And that's what's the sad part about it, right? So if you go 20 years, 30 years not getting better, you run into a deficit as a person. You become insolvent as a person. Meaning insolvent, not solved. You can't solve any personal problems because you're not working on yourself. When you start working on yourself, you know, you can solve some of your personal problems. And that's what got me into it when I was in my early 20s, Terrance. I realized I had some personal issues, some personal problems, and didn't know where they started, how I came up, what I'm supposed to do, how do I get better? Well, books is what helped me work on those personal problems that I had. Intention on writing books, that wasn't on my agenda. I was just trying to read them to get rid of some of these personal problems that I had, right? Well, I found that after I had some personal problems, I ended up getting some personal solutions.
Ah,
right?
Yeah.
So now I'm walking around with more solutions than more problems, meaning that if you don't fix the personal problems that you have, you're going to cause a bunch of problems to a whole lot of other persons or people.
Right.
So you're walking, you're walking with a relationship. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and there's this thing called interpersonal relationships. And even within the interpersonal relationships, the relationships that you have with other people, the person is in the center of that word. Interpersonal.
That's right.
Interpersonal. Enter into the personal relationship. So we've got to be working on ourselves. And the person who stays stagnant never goes anywhere. And it's important. It's important for us to be ever evolving, ever moving, ever elevating. Again, that's my word for 2019. Every time you hear me talk, you're going to hear me talking about elevating, because there's always another place to go. As long as you are breathing, you have an opportunity to go higher. I work with senior citizens through the day, and it amazes me how many times you walk into the building and you have a select few of senior citizens that they're sitting in the same spot when I come back the next morning as when I left them the night before.
Right.
Because they think that's it. There's nowhere else to go. But then you have another set of senior citizens in this same building that are getting up at the crack of dawn. They've got a mission, they've got goals, they're doing things, they're active, and they're sharing their wealth, they're sharing their knowledge. And those are the ones that are thriving. Those are the ones that are continuing to work on their person despite their age. And you find that those are the happiest people because they're still working on it. You find it to be the same in your circles?
Oh yeah, I think something I learned the older I've gotten, Terrence, is that when you're young, you think everybody 40, 50 years old or older that they want to be better. You think that because you're young. I thought I was just the last guy to to realize that, oh, I need to get better, right? I thought it was just I was the last one to find that out. I found out that wasn't true. But as I gotten older, and I realized that because people haven't been sold on the value that they are as a person, I think when you realize that you're valuable, that's one of the first things I think we need to be taught. That the next thing is we have to work on becoming more valuable, not just being, and it's, a lot of times people don't realize how valuable they are, because if you really thought you were valuable, wouldn't you try to make yourself better? If you value your car, you value furniture, you value a diamond ring, you clean it a lot, right? You value your car, you take care of it because you think it's valuable. Well, if you don't think you're valuable, then I guess you won't try to become more valuable.
Yeah.
And now here's here you are as an asset that's depreciating. You're not getting better as you get older, you're getting worse. You're becoming
First.
less valuable
Yeah.
because you're not working on yourself. And so that's why I think that's a primary focus for us, that we need to work on ourselves, become more valuable, because in doing that, it's nothing like looking at your life 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or even last year and realize like, wow, I've gotten better in this area than I was last year. And I don't think it's anything more sad than to look at your life and say, man, I'm worse this year than I was last year. I
Yeah.
think that's sad because that shows an area of neglect. And what I like to tell people, Terrence, neglect today will be regret tomorrow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And too many people are going through this world where they are just existing in
Yeah.
life, just doing just enough to get by, as opposed to really living life.
Mhm.
And in order to really live your life, that means you're just going to have to step out into the deep end. That means you're going to have to hang over the edge of the cliff. That means you're going to have to do some things that you're going to talk about in some of these 3 tips that we're
Mhm.
coming up to. And
Right.
as we jump into that, I just love how Diamond Queen and and Melinda Ray, they're having their own personal conversation in the chat room. Yeah, so but they are loving all the nuggets that you're sharing. So let's continue this conversation. Dr. Gantt, you talk about something in your presentations called the TLA. And I just
Right.
want you to share with our audience, what do you mean when you talk about being a TLA?
Well, when I say a TLA, for me, that means total life achiever. And a lot of times, this is the beginning of the year, Terrence, and, people say, go, this is going to be my year. Watch out. 2019, I'm going to knock it out the park. Right. And they say the same thing in 2018, 2017. And what happens is that people don't think realize how big their life is. And so they set a goal, maybe a financial goal, or maybe a spiritual goal, or a relationship goal, but they don't realize they have this big old life. They have a financial life, they have a health life, they have a spiritual life, they have a relationship life, they have a career life, an educational life. They have this big old life. And what happens is that because they don't have goals set in every area of their life, they end up having what I call a hole in that area. And so if you have too many holes in your life, you're gonna be like a sinking ship. You're gonna sink because you don't have any goals in those areas. So if you're in a hole, set a goal. And so in every area of your life, you should have goals set in every area. This is what makes you a total life achiever. Because sometimes you might be able to do something in one area of your life, and sometimes just the way life is, maybe you're a person like you might want to exercise, but it's 3 degrees outside, right? And you said, man, I can't go out there and run 10 miles a day. It's 3 degrees. Well, can you read 10 pages a day? That's education. Can you talk to your spouse or your friend or your parents or your children? Can you, hey, talk to them for 10 minutes a day? You can't run 10 miles a day, but can you talk to somebody for 10 minutes a day? So then this is how you're always achieving a lot of things in your life, because of the fact that you have goals set in every area of your life. And if you want to get goals, you got to set them first. And if you
Absolutely.
don't set them, you can't get them. So, that's why it's important not to just be a goal setter at January, but to be a goal setter all year. And, you hear people say, someone was telling me, Terrence, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I don't do that stuff anymore. And I said, well, you look at the word resolution, the back word of it is solution.
Yeah.
And RE means again, right? So the reality is, what solution did you have in 2018 that you can use again in 2019? Well,
Yeah.
if you didn't have any solutions in 2018, you can't do a resolution. You can't get a solution again because you don't have any solutions from last year. So,
Absolutely.
right? So,
Absolutely. And I'm actually one of those people who don't believe in resolutions, just for what you just said, because the resolution talks about making a solution again.
right.
And if you didn't make the solution before, how can we make the solution again? But here's one thing: we can't have resolutions because we didn't come up with the solution.
Right.
We didn't commit to finding the solution.
There you go.
So I believe in commitments. I don't
Yeah.
believe in resolutions. So each and every year, I recommit
Mm-hmm.
to doing the best I can. I recommit to being the best I can. That way, if the solutions doesn't work, the commitment is still there to keep going. And I think
Right.
that's what happens with us. We look for that resolution instead of looking for that commitment. You
Right.
recommit to the solution that you didn't commit to last year.
Right. Right.
That's the thing. Got it.
I like that. Because the reality is, if you don't have a solution, you got a problem.
Absolutely.
That's the reality, right? So I tell people, they say, well, I want to have goals. I said, well, all you need to do is look at your life and see where your problems are. And then that's where you set your goals, right? In those areas. If you have a financial problem, then set a financial goal. And now you can have a solution. You said, well, I need $20,000 by whatever, right? Well, you haven't saved $20,000 in a year. So how much you just say, can you save $20 a month? And see, and then do that solution next month again, $20. Then do that solution again. See, then you got 12 solutions. Next year, you can go and say, I'm going to do $40. Now because you can take that solution. So the older we get, the more solutions we should have, right? We should have more solutions because you're 20 years old, you don't have very many. You're 40, you should have at least 20 years worth of solutions,
Absolutely.
not 20 years worth of problems, right? So you
Yeah.
should, so it's easier to commit because okay, this has happened. I know what I need to do. Okay, I know what are solutions I need to apply because I got 20 years worth of them, and then start applying them into the next year.
And you'll find that once you start applying, and once you start looking back on the solutions that you had before, then you can recognize that if another problem comes along, that you can stay committed to the solution to that new problem because you saw how committed you were to solving the problems in the past.
That's right.
In this life, we're going to continue to have problems. Anyone who thinks that the problems are going to stop, you got another thing coming. As long as you are here, you will be problems will be placed in front of you, not just for problem's sake, but to see if you're committed to making that solution, to see if you're committed to following through no matter what the problem is, to see if you are committed to tapping into the resources that are surrounding you to help you build that character that we're talking about, so that you can only be better by doing better. So absolutely. So you had already jumped into tip number 1 on how to set goals and get your goals, but touch a little bit more on the getting of the goals. You talked about how to set the goals, incremental, do a little bit now, do a little bit more later, but how do you get your goals?
Okay, that requires one thing: planning. You can't, you can set a goal, but you can't make a plan until you set a goal. But you can't get a goal if you don't have a plan. Plans make sure goals are achieved, and goals make sure plans are made. So that's why you need both of them, right? You need to have a goal, then you got to have a plan. And whatever the plan is, it's like when you ever been to a jewelry store, Terrance, and you've seen a diamond ring or a gold watch, whatever it is, and you're looking through it, and the whole casing is all glass. And I don't care which way you look at it, from an angle, on top, in front of it, you can always see what you're looking for, that ring or bracelet or whatever it is, right? Well, I said, if you're doing a plan that you can't see your goal in it, anything you're doing and you can't see your goal while you're doing it, it needs to be out of there. It's blocking you from the goal. Everything you do in your plan, you should be able to see your goal at the same time.
You're right. And that age-old adage, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
You plan to fail, that's right.
Yes. So the number two tip you want to share with us, the art of self-discipline. Speak on that for a bit.
When you look at the word discipline, Terrance, in the original language, it actually means to learn. That's what discipline means. So learning is broken up into two contexts. The first part is acquiring information, and that's half of learning. And that's what a lot of us do. We acquire information. But the second part of learning is applying information. So that's the other part of learning. So that's why you have 100% learning, because you acquire information and then you apply information. So when you apply information, or application is what activates information. Information doesn't work unless it's applied. And that's why a lot of us miss it. We get all the information, but we don't apply the information. So then the information doesn't, people say, well, the information isn't working for me. It doesn't work. Well, it's not that the information doesn't work. You have to apply the information so it will work. So that's why discipline is important, because if you're not disciplined by yourself, then you're going to be disciplined by others. Now, when you're young, it's okay to be disciplined by others, your mom, your dads, grandma, school teachers. It's okay to be disciplined by them because you just got here. But as you get older, you got to become more self-disciplined. In other words, you need to tell yourself what to do, then do what you told you. And that's what a lot of us aren't that good at doing.
I love it. I love it. You got a little background noise there, so I'm gonna ask you just to speak up a little bit louder. We are listening to the nuggets of Dr. Anthony Gantt, author, entrepreneur, and radio host, internet radio host, and he is talking to us about how we can be better by doing better in 2019. And he's dropping these nuggets, these tips. He's already done tip number 1, talking about how to set goals and get goals. And number 2, the art of self-discipline, being disciplined and disciplining yourself, and recognizing that it's important in your efforts to do better and be better. But now let's talk about number 3. Number 3, and that is something that I know a lot of people probably just don't spend a lot of time in, and that's the how to properly use a planner. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, like I touched on before, just, you have to use a planner because you can't get goals you haven't set, and you can't get, you have to plan to get them, right? And if you plan to get them, then, you put yourself in a good position to have them. And because, planning is not just making a schedule. I'll do this on Tuesday, do this on Wednesday. Planning is actually walking yourself from where you are to where you want to be. That makes sense to you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so it's taking you from, how when people, sometime when they're trying to run the weight loss challenges, something like that, and they take a before picture of themselves, and then a year later, 6 months later, whatever, they take the after picture.
Absolutely.
Well, in planning, you take the before picture. This is where I am. Might not be that great, right? However, the plan is to make sure I can get to this over here. So you have to plan your way to what you want, but you have to actually take a picture of it, have a vision for it. That's what goals are good for. So you can get there from where you are. So you locate where you are and locate where you want to be, and you make a plan to go backwards from where you want to be to where you are, and start walking it forward. So that's why planners are so important, because planners help you have your goals in sight. If you don't have your goals in sight, if you don't see them, it's kind of hard to be them, right? It's kind of hard to get them. So that's why it's good to have them in sight. That's what planners do.
Are you someone who uses a physical book planner? You've written 17 books. Are you a digital planner? Are you the Outlook calendar king? What kind of planner do you use?
I use a physical planner. I created it about 12 years ago. I've been using planners since 1989. So different planners, and I was trying to make them all fit. I buy this planner, use this one, then I use this one. And that's when I realized that every person has a big life. And what I found that I was doing, Terrance, is that I was very good at putting out fires, meaning that something's going on in your life. We say your relationships, right? So you go get your bucket of water and you put that fire out because, it's on fire. Then you turn your back and you look over there at your career, and your career is catching on fire. So you get your bucket of water and go put that one out, right? And then you look around and say, oh man, my spiritual life is all messed up. You go get your bucket of water and put that one out. So I found all I was doing was just putting out fires. And because I didn't realize how big my life was, that I had different areas that I had to tend to in my life, and everyone does. So I had to start finding a planner that can fit my entire life. And what I end up doing is creating my own planner, that I've been using for about 12 years. I created it, and it has my whole life in it. I have my goals in it. I have monthly to daily to weekly activities, and to keep me on track. So that's make sure I'm touching every area of my life as often as possible.
That's a great suggestion, and I applaud you for finding your own. Many people, just like you said, start out just with having any old type of planner. You go to the drugstore, you go to the local Office Depot or Staples, and you pick up the first thing there, and then you find that maybe that doesn't work. So now you're looking for a different one, and maybe a bigger one, because maybe your goals and your dreams are too big for that small planner. So you
Right.
start doing that. But your point is well taken, that you should find the planner that works for your entire life. I
Mhm.
just started using a planner by one of my mentors, my online mentors, Brendan Burchard, and he's
Okay.
got this wonderful daily high performance planner, which is what he calls it. And I
Uh-huh.
don't get anything for it, so don't ask me. I'm not advertising for him, but I do like the fact that it is big enough, because
Yeah.
I got big hands, so I need to see what I'm writing. And
Okay.
it starts you off. It starts the day off with a message to yourself. It gives you a morning mindset where you could reflect on the things that you want to get accomplished for the day. And then on the other side of the page, it has the nighttime where you can go back and you can reflect on how your day went.
Right.
And when we talk about balance, and you talked about having, all of your fires, sometimes you're putting out different fires at the time. We're talking about a balance. We're talking
Right.
about a balance in your business, personal, emotional, and your spiritual life.
Right.
This is a good tool, and your tool sounds like an awesome tool where you have the opportunity to reflect
Mhm.
daily, weekly, monthly on all those different areas of your life. It's the life of an entrepreneur, especially. You're so busy, you're chasing that next thing, that next appointment, that next dollar bill, that next big event, that next book, that
Mhm.
sometimes you forget to take the time to speak to your creator. You may forget to take your wife or your spouse out on a date. You may forget about all the simple things that make life worth living. So to
Mhm.
have a planner that touches on all those things and have that as a reminder for you is great. And Melinda Ray says, yes, nice planner, Terrance Leftridge. Now I want a new one too. Yeah, well, DM me afterwards and we'll tell you how you can get that. Or we'll also, Dr. Gantt, are you selling your planner, or you just
Oh
got
yeah.
it for yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. When I created it, I created for myself, and some friends of mine always knew that I was in the planning. They liked what I did, so then it ended up becoming a product. So it became a product of mine that I actually sell too. So we waiting on the new order to come in for because our planner doesn't have dates. You put the dates in yourself, because
Absolutely.
a lot of times people, and that planner looks pretty good too. I tell people, get those big planners, because your life is a big life. Trying to put them in little bitty books, man, you realize how big your life is. You need a lot of room to work because your
Absolutely.
life is large. So, yeah, so it ended up becoming a product for me as well.
Well, we'll definitely get your information at the end of this broadcast so that they can reach out to you if they want to take a look at your planner as well. But yeah, you got to plan your life. And in order to do better and be better, it takes a plan. Uh,
Right.
you just can't go through this haphazardly. You can't, what's that definition? Doing the same thing over and over again, thinking you're going to get a different result.
Right. Right.
Yeah, insanity. No, and that's not what we want you to be. We
That's
don't
right.
want you to go through 2019 with your head cut off, maybe
Yeah.
like the way you did in 2018. We want you to start now. You should have started December 1st instead of January 22nd, but it's okay. We will meet you where you are right now.
Right.
We are here to encourage you here at the Unstoppable Story Show with great guests like Dr. Gantt to help you be better in 2019, but it starts with you doing better.
Mhm.
So, Dr. Gantt, I thank you so much for taking time to be on our show this evening. You got any upcoming events or any outings where people can see you live and in person?
Yeah, we're going to in March. We're going to do from March to April. I think I'm doing about 6 events. One on how to write a book. Also doing an author showcase. Doing one on how to be a paid speaker. And then how to speak effectively in public. Wow. One a business expo or what they call pop-ups. We're gonna do some things on entrepreneurship, teaching people how to work in network marketing so they won't be annoying to their family and friends. So we got quite a few things.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna teach people because how to actually do it as a real business and not uh, badgering people. They're getting involved with them in certain things. So yeah, we got quite a few events coming up. Obviously, I do the weekly radio shows and have a couple of radio shows that's going to start in the spring and have some great hosts that's going to host them. And I created the shows, but they're going to host them. So I think the audience might want to. It might be a special surprise they're going to have in the next couple of months.
Ah.
With one of the shows. So they probably just want to stay in contact with you and me and find out what that see something special happen in the spring.
Absolutely. And what's the best way that they can stay in contact with you and get information on all those upcoming events?
Well, they can go to unknowngreatness.com. That's the online bookstore that we have. And you see my books on there as well as other authors. You can also email me at drtonygant@gmail.com. So they can get in touch with me there. So those are the two main ways. And then, I'll follow up with them and try to keep them abreast of some of the things we have going on and connecting them to good people as well.
Well, you are definitely one of those good people, and you definitely got people excited on this show tonight. Melinda Ray says she loves the show. Thanks for creating it. I recommend people who strive to stay successful or be successful to get in tune. Thank you so much. Melinda. Melinda is an entrepreneur herself. She has a dance theater, and she also is doing some network marketing as well, Dr. Gantt. So definitely Melinda is doing some great things here in the Windy City. Thank you, Diamond Queen. She said the show was awesome. Let's see. We got Sharon Johnson Leftridge. She totally agrees with having a planet. Thank you, baby. Thank you for agreeing with me. So, as we end, I just want to go back and talk and recap those 3 things on how you can do better in order to be better in 2019. And that is first to set a goal and get a goal. And then it is secondly to have some self-discipline. And then thirdly, you can't do it without having a planner. If you don't want to fail at that plan, then get a planner.
Get a planner.
That means you plan to be better in 2019. Hey, bro, anytime you want to come back to the Unstoppable Story Show, this platform is open for you. When next time you drop that next book, if you want to talk about some of those events that you have coming up in the spring, we definitely have an opportunity for you to come back and be a part of the show. Any final thoughts you want to share with us?
Well, I want to say thank you for taking the opportunity and inviting me on, and all your following as well for taking the time to listen to me. And the last thing I'll just say is that you want to have good habits, getting with people like yourself, to have good habits. I tell people you can change your life if you change your habits. Your 2019 can be totally different if you got totally different habits than you had in 2018. If you had good habits last year, that's cool. Bring those over to this year. If you had bad habits last year, do the total opposite, and you have a totally different life. So I just want to encourage them to get good habits, get the planner, like you're using the planner, stay in tune with the show, so they can always get good information from a lot of good hosts and good information from yourself as well. So those are what I leave with, and I really do appreciate the opportunity to be able to share with you on the show.
Well, the honor was all mine. Thank you for coming on the show, Dr. Gantt. The doctor was in the house. He does take house calls. Go ahead and reach out to him at unknowngreatness.com. And Dr. Gantt, I'm going to put you back down in the lobby, but don't hang up. And if you could put your information in the feed, your email address that you mentioned, so that they can get in contact with you and stay abreast of all those upcoming events that you have scheduled. And
Okay.
hey, you know what I say to you? Don't just make it a great day, make it an unstoppable day, Dr. Gantt.
Thank you very much.
All
Terrance.
right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Dr. Anthony Gantt, unknowngreatness.com is where you can reach out to him and get more information about the events that he has coming up this year, and how you can get more information on the number of different books that he has, over 17 books and 10 audio programs that you can take part in with Dr. Anthony Gantt. Great nuggets, great information, great comments. I tell you, Melinda Ray and and Diamond Queen, y'all just gonna be my cheerleaders from this point on. Just come on each and every week and pump up the chat room. Keep it lively. It was a pleasure to listen to you, Anthony. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. And you guys, we appreciate you. And what I would love for you guys to do, two things. If you had some takeaways from tonight, go ahead and drop them in the comments. You can do that at any time, whether we're still live or whether we are gone into replay. So drop those big takeaways, those nuggets into the chat room. And finally, if this show was a blessing to you, if you got something out of this show that's going to help you in your night on a great note, it's going to help you make your week unstoppable because you have some tools that you can apply. You have some knowledge that you can apply right now to make your 2019 better. Why not donate and support the Unstoppable Story Show? We do this free of charge. We don't charge our guests to be on the show. We don't ask for anything in return, but quality programming takes funds and it takes funding. And, you know, my mama told me a long time ago that a closed mouth don't get fed. So I'm asking you to continue to support quality programming. And if you see something each and every week, or you hear something that is going to change your life and move you from being stuck to being unstoppable, then why don't you just go ahead and donate to the cause? You can simply go to www.paypal.me/unstoppable coaching. PayPal.me/unstoppable coaching. Any amount will do. We will surely appreciate it. And it keeps the lights on. It keeps the internet working. It keeps us able to reach out to these phenomenal guests that are dropping nuggets for you free of charge. The show is free, but the information is priceless. So if you find this show to be of value, then go ahead and why don't you just consider donating to Unstoppable Story Show? Simply going to paypal.me/unstoppable coaching. Appreciate you. We'll love you to death. And again, we also will be giving away to anyone who donates in excess of $25. We've got these nice unstoppable, I am unstoppable wristbands. We'll put one in the mail to you. So every time you look at your wrist, you'll know that you are unstoppable too. That's for donations in excess of $25. We'll send one right out to you. Okay, that's our time. Another great Tuesday night, another unstoppable story. Hope you enjoyed it. And each and every week, we want you to come right back here to the Unstoppable Story Show. Thank you guys who were watching on the watch party. Lady Rochelle Dotson Rathini was watching. Laston Deloitte, Latana Stenhouse Cobb, Janice Bishop. Thank you guys for tuning in. And again, if you're watching the replay, go ahead and put that number 2 in the box. And if you watched us live, go ahead and put that number 1. We'll be back next week with another unstoppable guest here on the Unstoppable Story Show, where we don't just talk to ordinary people. We talk to people with unstoppable stories. And wherever you are in the world today, wait. I forgot, completely forgot. I let Dr. Gantt talk about his upcoming events and I didn't talk about mine. Shame. So if you are in the Chicagoland area or Northwest Indiana, then I am inviting you out to come out to this phenomenal event. This event is called the Authors Read Literary Showcase. The Authors Read Literary Showcase taking place on February 23rd, 2019, here in the city of Chicago. And it is the brainchild of the phenomenal, the fabulous poetess herself, Tara Poetry in Motion. This is going to be her first one of 2019, and she has teamed up with the Unstoppable Story Show to put on this phenomenal event here in the Chicagoland area. So it's going to be taking place at the ABJ Community Services, 1818 East 71st Street here in Chicago, February 23rd from noon to 4 p.m. And it is going to feature 10 phenomenal local artists. Some are talking about fiction, some are talking about nonfiction, some poetry are in there, some life stories are in there among these artists. So there is something for everybody. And if you've been thinking about becoming an author yourself, this is the great opportunity to network with some first-time authors as well as some seasoned authors so that you can decide right here, right now, like Dr. Anthony Gantt said, to do better and be better in 2018 and be a blessing to somebody else. Because I know, and as well as you know, that you've got a story inside of you. You've got a message that you just can't keep to yourself. It's a message that has to get out to the masses. Why not surround yourself with people who also knew that they had to get their message out to the masses and learn how they did it? And we'll be doing a live taping of the Unstoppable Story Show during the event that day. So if you want to be a part of a live studio audience and you want to hang around people that are doing big things, go ahead and join us on February 23rd. Simply go to bit.ly/authors read, and that's authors with a capital A. bit.ly/authors read, and we'll see you on February 23rd here in Chicago. But as I always say in closing, wherever you are in the world today, don't just make it a great day, make it an unstoppable day. See you next time.